Thursday, and it's Amadeus and Jim. We're here. And last night, Women's World Cup, United States, and a very good team from the Netherlands came to a 1-1 draw. And you said it yesterday, my friends. You picked it. You called it 1-1, and you were right.
Yeah. We talked a lot about this game yesterday. I specifically said I didn't think there was any value in paying minus 150 for a match that could draw. And sure enough, that's exactly what we saw. Two good defenses battling it out. Scoring chances were tough to come by. Obviously, the USA started to play a lot better towards the end of the match there, almost winning it as well. But they were dominated in the first half by the Netherlands. So it was very interesting. One of those matches that where the two tales of halftime there.
Right, and now those two are going into Tuesday's game very much undecided as to who will be the winner of the of the group, and that's a key point to have, is to have that group win. And they play. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the U.S. plays first, and then the Netherlands game must be after. So the Netherlands will know ahead of that game what result they have to get to move on.
Yeah, definitely. It's like I said yesterday. A draw wasn't the worst situation for the U.S. So both
Right.
are tied with 4 points now. Vietnam's already been eliminated.
Right.
So it's just really Portugal that they have to worry about. But USA is obviously going to be playing Portugal. So a win, Rich, they should win that match. But yeah, a win there obviously kicks Portugal out and puts the US through. Now it looks like it's going to come down to goal difference, assuming Netherlands beats Vietnam.
Right.
You never know. We've seen some weird scores in this one. We had the Philippines upset, and I'm not going to count these teams out. Like we saw Nigeria upset Australia this morning 3-2. Right. And, now Nigeria looks great going into that last match against Ireland, who's already lost twice and is out of the tournament. But, these teams like Ireland and Vietnam, even though they're out, they played very well defensively. And now that they have nothing to lose, they're going to be trying to come away with something, right? Nobody wants to leave the tournament 0-3. So,
that right.
Yeah, they definitely want to get some points to hang their hat on. And I think you're going to see probably a stronger, more attacking Vietnam and Ireland come out, because they know they have nothing to lose. They're already going home, so might as well try and upset somebody else's tournament, right? So, yeah, the Netherlands, yeah, you're taking on the weakest team in the group, but it'll be tough, especially with the way Vietnam's goalkeeper specifically has been standing on her head the entire tournament. So that'll be very tough for the Dutch to get through.
Well, and I think you bring up a good point too, and that is that if you're not going to win, you definitely want to ruin somebody's day. And if that's possible, you could this could come. Definitely a very interesting situation with that regard. And I think that getting through is, I think both of them will get through. U.S. has a 3-0 on score on Vietnam, and we'll have to see where the Netherlands are. And it's if you're the underdog, right? You almost have the advantage in that. Okay, you're playing basically knowing that you're not going to play another game, so you can play it and play it hard and leave it all out there, right? And that can be a problem for the Netherlands. So we'll see. Or it could go the other way. They could pretty much have their bags packed, and the Netherlands could, steamroll them 7-0. So you just never know what's going to happen in situations like that. But had the United States lost last night, that would have been a very difficult, put them in a very difficult position to have any chance of winning their draw there. And I guess the good news is they ended up with a draw, and both sides have one more chance, so they lived another day to get into the knockouts. But, that's where we are on that one. As you say, we have the scores real quick here from this morning, and let's go real quick to them. Portugal beat Vietnam by score 2-0. Australia and Nigeria, that was a tough one. Australia took it on the chin from Nigeria 3-2. Game tonight at 8 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone is South Africa and Argentina. That game can be seen on Fox, Fubo TV, Universal, and Peacock.
It's funny, Jim. Argentina's been given the best time slot of the whole Americas in this tournament because we saw the U.S. played at 9, Canada played at 10, Colombia played at 10, and Argentina gets to play at nice 8 o'clock. Everybody's done. We finish dinner, go watch the game, and then we go to sleep.
Right, they get Messi's time slot. Yeah. Real quick, some scores from the UEFA Europa Conference League today.
The 30 games, you mean?
Yeah. Any one particular you want me to call out? Because there's a list here, a mile long.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it today because I saw there was like 30 games. They're all decent teams playing too, but 30 games is a lot to sift through.
The League's Cup tonight, Guadalajara is playing Cincinnati. That game is, of course, on MLS, Apple TV. You've got Minnesota United in Chicago. That's also Apple TV. Those are the Guadalajara, Cincinnati is at 7 o'clock. 7:30 is Minnesota and Chicago. 7:30 is Nashville and Toluca. And later, let's see what time that would be. That would be at 10 o'clock tonight. It's going to America against, not the country, but the team, against St. Louis. And that all of those games are on. Well, that's actually on Fox Sports 1, Fubo TV. It's also on if you have your MLS Pass.
Fubo TV, I can watch that one.
Fubo has that one. It's St. Louis and America. And it's on also in Spanish on Fox Deportes. So if you want to know, there's where they are today. And like we said yesterday, it's a pretty slim pickings for games tonight, but at least it is some games, and you'll get to see some MLS teams take on some teams from the Mexican League. So it'll be fun, and we'll see those games tonight. Let's shift for a minute over to baseball, and we now know that the Angels have made a decision, and that is not to trade Shohei Ohtani. And I don't know if Rye's around, but Rye, if you're around, buddy, they got Lucas Giolito. Now, I'm not sure if that was a great move or a bad one. We'll have to see. But for a relatively lean group of players, they landed. They landed Lucas Giolito to the Angels. So the Angels are gearing up to try to make a playoff push, and it started with their trade to get Lucas Giolito.
Are they trying to pitch better, or?
I don't know. I'm not that. We previewed Lucas Giolito's outing last time, and I don't think he made it to the third inning. But anyway. He is. I know Rye wanted him for the Phillies, and maybe Rye, if you're out there listening, buddy, the Phillies dodged a bullet on that one. Maybe that deal was one of those deals that you want to make, but you didn't make it. So, for all I know, Giolito will be the Cy Young Award winning kind of guy he was a couple of years ago for the Angels. So he's headed to Anaheim, and the trade winds are beginning to pick up, and that's always something that we want to check out at this time of the year, because we'll be here on on Monday when the trade deadline begins, and we'll see how everything goes. But absolutely, it's going to be fun to see. We have a limited scoreboard this afternoon. Speaking of the aforementioned Angels, at the end of 4, they're taking they've got a doubleheader in Detroit. Remember, they got rained out yesterday. The Angels are 3 up on the Tigers, 3-0, and we're talking about the top of the 5th. That Angel game is an actual. The makeup game will be this afternoon, 20 minutes after the first game ends. So it's a traditional stop. 7:10 at City Park in Flushing Meadows. It'll be the Mets and the Nationals. Sonny Gray pitching for no, not Sonny Gray. I'm sorry. Jason Gray pitching for Washington. The Mets have Senga pitching for them. Cubs, Cardinals. That's Steele going for the Cubbies. It is Mikolas. Now, Miles Mikolas might be another one of those guys who's, on the block. We'll have to take a look and see. BB's pitching for the Guardians tonight. That's the 8-10 start against the White Sox. Cease is pitching for the White Sox tonight. So there's a very, very limited, group playing tonight. And as a matter of fact, the latest game start is an 8-10 first pitch. So that's not really even a bad start from that standpoint. So that's where we are today. Ohtani's not going anywhere. And as we said before, limited baseball and limited soccer. But, there's enough. There's enough going on. Make it interesting, that's for sure. Let's take one quick look here as we look at possible trades. I strongly recommend that you check out a website called MLB Trade Rumors, because they really are on top of what's going on. So let's take a quick look at what they are saying is happening as we speak, and then we'll get we will get Amadeus's thoughts on it. Cardinals really trying Tepera. That's not a big surprise. He had a $14 million contract on his side, so I think that somebody picks him up. They pick him up and go for it. Eduardo Rodriguez is drawing widespread trade interest, as he should. He's a starter for the Tigers, and he has. He's done pretty well. He's thrown, his best season. He's coming off this year. He had thrown 947 2/3 innings with a 4.15 earned run average, which is not too bad. And so he's getting some interest. And let's see who else is getting some interest. The Brewers are looking at middle infielders, and what else? Let's see, real quick. Angels designate Jared Walsh for assignment, so that's to give them room for what's going on. And it's funny. We just talked about White Sox rumors. We got Cease, Bummer, Lynn, and Kelly all, on people who are definitely taking a look at them, and they're definitely in the mood to get rid of them. So we'll see how that wears out. But at the moment, Giolito to the Angels, and that's the big story trade-wise. So we'll see how that goes up. I assume, frankly, it's going to start really picking up to a pace as we get closer and closer to the weekend.
Yeah, I would think you would expect to hear more. Obviously, the Angels were already getting scared, so they had to pull Ohtani. But the only thing I will say about that is they better have some real confidence they're going to re-sign him, or else that might be the dumbest move in baseball.
Right. You get him to the postseason, then you lose him. That happened with the Nationals with regard to that 2019 team. Basically, they couldn't re-sign Rendon, and he's gone out to Anaheim and basically hasn't played a season since. He's played half of a couple of seasons. He's on the IR right now. They're hoping to get him back before the end of the month. Trey Turner, who they traded to the Dodgers along with Scherzer, is having a horrific slump in Philadelphia. Not only is at the bat, but he made 3 errors in one game the other day. So, sometimes, and then there's Strasburg, who basically got the big contract and hasn't pitched, and is basically he may very well be, and it's unfortunate, he may very well be out of baseball. So, sometimes the success that you have in a World Series turns out to be, a harbinger of bad things to come. So you never know. And we'll have to check that out and see what's going on. From your standpoint as a person who handicaps these things, how close do you watch the trade wire as you watch these games? Because, in the middle of the game, you can see a guy get pulled and end up on another team by the time the actual game is over.
Yeah, it's definitely something to watch. And from what I've seen this week, people are definitely going a little lighter until the trade deadline is over and done with, because it's a lot easier to know once the teams are finalized the rest of the way than trying to take a team and then maybe you don't know, right? Like some of these teams, obviously you don't know if they're going to be buyers or sellers just because of the records. There's a lot of teams right now that are just like in that 6-game over 500 type thing, and it's like what do you do? Do you try and go for it? You still have a winning record, or do you just blow it up and try again next year? So yeah, the last thing you want to do is give out a team and then they want to be sellers and they trade their best player away that day. So definitely people are being a lot more cautious with the cards this next week.
Yeah. Now we've mentioned last week, or earlier in this week, I should say, we've said that Kylian Mbappe had some rather interesting decisions to make based on a close to $1 billion deal that was offered him by the Saudi Arabian club Al Hilal. And he hasn't made a decision yet. We'll see where he goes. But right now, he's got options. PSG is, basically PSG is standing up for him. They say that they will. They're basically going to give Mbappe an opportunity to determine what he wants to do. They're talking about that our buddy Neymar may let Neymar out of his contract.
I think they have to at this point. Teams are fighting over, we'll take them, but you pay for them. No. You can have them. We'll pay for them. Just take them, please.
Get them out of Paris. And my understanding is that he has not yet decided whose birthdays he's going to be attending this season. So that could be a problem. PSG is a juggernaut, was a juggernaut, but right now, it's going to be interesting. Now, Al Hilal has decided they're going to bid $332 million as a transfer fee, which would make it the largest transfer fee in history of the Premier League, or any league for that matter. So, by all means, this is going to be a big deal. By comparison, by the way, Madrid offered 180 million euros, which is about $200 million, for Mbappe in 2021. So there's a lot of cash going there. Cristiano Ronaldo is getting $200 million a year just by being 40 years old from the Saudi government. Yeah, from the Saudi government there. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now, there's a lot of money being floated in Mbappe's way. And we'll see how he plays it out. But it's definitely a $1 billion $1 billion story for Kylian Mbappe. It's not a bad, it's not bad being Kylian Mbappe at this time.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, the decision's up to him. Obviously, we know it's if he goes, it was probably a money driven situation. But if he doesn't, maybe money is not that all that important to him. But we'll see. This is his decision to make. Like I said, it's only going to be for a year, and then he'll probably leave anyway.
Well, yeah. I mean, even in that, the thought that they would give him $776 billion, literally, knowing that it's a one-season deal.
Yeah, but you know what, Jim? You're talking about the same people that offered Tiger Woods $1 billion just to show up at golf tournaments. So
it's a good point. Yeah.
And literally, we know Tiger's not winning anything in his condition now. So yeah, like that is literally just to show up, and he turned it down.
Yeah, and well, I mean, appearance fees in golf, tennis, etc. Always. I mean, there used to be a commonplace. I mean, you would give Ivan Lendl. I can remember Ivan Lendl would get $50,000-$60,000 to show up for a tournament, which, basically he had tanked the first round, he'd be gone. But it is what it is, right? You can take the money and run. Now, I did see appearance fees, in all fairness, where guys like Andy Roddick and people like that back in the day would get, again, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to show up. And then they would, they would go all the way, sometimes even to the finals. So, it worked both ways. It just depended upon what the tournament was. And a lot of golf had to do that in the old days because that was one of the only ways you could get some of these name golfers to actually play in the tournament. So, it works both ways, and we'll have to see how it goes. But evidently, we definitely have something here that we want to pay attention to.
Yeah, definitely. We'll have to just wait and see, just like with the Messi stuff. You're just gonna have to wait.
If you're Mbappe, what do you do?
Like I said, right? There's so many different factors that come into it, right? It's like how important is the money to you? If you want that money, then go. But for a player of his caliber, money is not going to be an issue throughout the rest of his career, considering he's very young too. He's like what, 23? Yeah. So it's like I said, it's up to him, and it's really a matter of how badly does he want the money. If he wants it, then he's going to go. If he doesn't care about the money and he thinks, yeah, it's a lot, but maybe I won't make as much, but I'm still going to make a ton of money, and I don't need to have the biggest contract in the world, then he's not going to go.
Right, and it would definitely be something that you don't want to. I mean, if you don't need the money, I can get that. I definitely can get that. Just so you know, folks, Amadeus has not done anything. That is not. They're not coming after him. It's a matter of, things to look forward to, right?
Yes. This is a crazy time.
Don't you worry. Everything's fine. He's watching an old episode of Adam 12. So there you go. What was I going to say? College sports here in the U.S. getting kind of crazy. It looks like Colorado's leaving the Pac-12 and heading for the Big 12, and that is a seismic move, and we'll have to see. Dion, of course, is the coach. I'm sorry, of Dion's the coach of that Colorado team. He hasn't coached a game yet, and all of a sudden they're acting like this is something history. But we'll have to see. I'm guessing, quite honestly, he's got a 4-year contract, right? I don't think that Dion's coaching in Colorado in 4 years. I just don't.
Yeah, that's why it's a very interesting move to me, just because what's going to happen when he leaves the program and they go back to being bad, right? But I don't know, Jim. At this rate, it looks like the Pac-12 is not even going to have a conference left.
Yeah, it looks to me like you're assuming. And look, I hope Deion wins and does really well. Deion's a good guy. I mean, when I used to do the Atlanta coaches show, he did some fun stuff for us. So I've always liked Deion, and I wish him well. But you're assuming that he's never had a P5 job, never Power 5 conference job. So he's gonna, and he literally turned over almost his entire roster using the college portal, including bringing his son over to be the quarterback. So I really think it's going to be interesting, especially in a season where you've got, the Pac-12 may have the deepest conference in the country in quarterbacks. I mean, you've got the reigning, Heisman Trophy winner, at SC. You've got, of course, in Caleb Williams. You've got Bo Nix at Oregon. You've got Michael Penix at Washington. You got, what's the kid's name at Utah?
Cam Rising.
Cam Rising. There's 4 quarterbacks you don't have to, and that's not you're not even talking about the kid that they brought in at Arizona State. So I'm going to predict this. I'm going to predict that every team in the conference, when they play Colorado, is going to really want to run the score up on them big time. When you leave a conference, man, that's a very bitter taste in people's mouths, especially when you're not leaving, for another year. You've got to play these teams. And Colorado is not going to, look, Deion may be a wizard at maybe bringing the team up, but that Colorado team was terrible last year, and it's not going to get much better. And they couldn't stop anybody last year. So believe me, there's, I don't know what the overs are going to be on those, but I would check those overs because they're going to be monster.
Jim, I can tell you right now, just give me 1 minute on that. I'm going to have to find that. Let's see. Where's the regular season wins? Here we go. College football. So we're looking at Colorado.
Mm-hmm.
Their win total this year is 3.5, and it's juiced to the under, -150, under 3.5.
So they're saying they're not going to even win 4 games.
The odds makers think they're not winning 4 games because
Right.
the under 3.5 is juiced. So 3 games or less according to the books.
Wow.
So they don't have a lot of confidence in them either.
I'm glad to know that I'm in good company.
Yeah, the books are sharp, Jim. That's definitely the side you want to be on.
Yeah, you don't want to be on. Very few people come home with a casino bringing with them. Yeah, it's it's crazy. I mean, yeah. So all right, then I'm glad to see.
It's like all right, all is well.
Yeah, life is good.
The hype is not too much.
No. It's I mean, I see the whole Deion thing, right? I mean, the Deion thing is really the whole Deion thing is easy to get caught up in. I think that's I think that's the fun part of it is watching Deion and seeing what crazy things and antics that he can come up with in the Coach Prime bit, which he's got going, and he's got his commercials with Saban and all that. And like I said, in a couple of years' time, he could be. You never know. But it's going to be an interesting thing to see how it works out. But it is what it is. I mean, you got a guy who is the Pied Piper, but he's got to produce.
Yeah, no, definitely. And as you put it, when he's not, first of all, he's not going to yield results right away in his first
Right.
season playing, because he was coaching Division 2 before this. So this is, never mind never coaching in a Power 5 conference when they go there. He's never coached in a Division 1 team before. So absolutely, it's going to be a big leap for him too. And then you're not going to yield results. Nobody ever yields results in the first season. Plus, you've overturned, as you mentioned, the whole team, the whole coach, so it's like it's a brand new everything there. So it's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah, and the other part to this whole equation with Deion and that whole Colorado deal is that the thing is managing expectations, right? If you got everybody in the state of Colorado geeked out about you, and you do what the book says you're going to do, which is you don't win, 3 games is about the most you win. How geeked out are they going to be, next year? And so I guess they're going to give him a leash, right? They'll probably give him a 2-year leash, but you can't expect the Colorado fans to go, yeah, let's rush and watch Coach Prime, as we play, Utah tonight. And oh, by the way, Utah beats us by 4 touchdowns.
Well, Chip, let's never mind even next year. It seems like everybody's expecting them to be in a bowl game this year. So what happens? Right. Let's say they come out, they steamroll the FCS team in the first game, they get everybody even more hyped, and then you lose the next 5, and now you're 1-5 to start the season. How do you think people are going to react to that?
Not well.
Yeah, there's going to be uproar midway through the season. So I think it's going to be a very interesting game for sure.
They'll be throwing. They'll be throwing all kinds of stuff at the Buffalo, which is not nice.
That's definitely, that's a team to watch this year.
Mm-hmm. It's crazy. It is absolutely, totally crazy. But it's Deion. He knows crazy. He understands crazy. He's lived crazy, so he knows what he's doing. It's going to be interesting too because a lot of people thought his quarterback, his son, was really good. Now they were involved. They were involved in historically black college, playing for Jackson State, and the quality, no offense to the HBCUs, which is really good, is basically not the quality of the kind of programming. Kind of football that you get when you play, in a Power 5 conference. So, we'll have to see even if his son can live up to those expectations, and at what point, if he doesn't, does Dad pull, his son?
Well, you know what the one thing I never understood about the move was, Jim, is he never won an FCS championship, did he?
No.
Yeah, so if you didn't even conquer the Division 2, why did you so quickly? Because it seemed like he was there for such a short stint. It's like, wouldn't you want to win an FCS championship before you take the big jump? And now everybody's treating him like, and don't get me wrong, he's great. Obviously, he was a great athlete. He was a great player, and he did wonders at Jackson State. But again, it's that leap factor. Like you didn't even conquer the Division 2. You weren't even the best team down there, and now you, after 2-3 years, you're gonna just jump up to Division 1 and expect to turn things around at this Colorado program. I like I said, I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm not knocking him because I'm sure he could do it because obviously he's gonna attract good players who want to play for him. But it's just interesting to see how he'll put it together and how they'll match up against the other teams that, have been there and been dominant in these conferences.
Yeah, and the other thing with Deion and with turning things around quickly, which he's trying to do in the portal, he actually had to get. I mean, there's been such a bizarre thing. The admissions department at Colorado had to literally bend the rules to get some of these kids in. So, where are you going with this stuff? I think that's kind of the stuff in that regard.
We saw what just happened to Harbaugh, so they better be careful.
That's right. We got Foxy in the house. Foxy says, I'm glad to realize these League Cups games were played in the U.S. It's very nearly backed. Oh, okay. I very nearly backed St. Louis. Is that St. Louis or St. Louis?
San Luis, he was talking about, because he was asking about them against New England yesterday. And I'm glad, Fox, it's good to see you. I'm glad you didn't take them, because I couldn't say it on air, but New England was my premium play. And I hope you took the over, though, because I told you to take the over in that one. That was like 4-1 by halftime. It was 3-0 like 20 minutes in for New England. So and Foxy, you nailed Monterey. I was scared because I wanted the plus the half. So I talked myself off it, but you nailed that money line. They scored 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and they absolutely rolled Salt Lake 3-0, where we know they can't seem to play at home for some reason.
Tough times in Salt Lake. Billy McDonald, $776 million for 1 year. How do you turn that down? William, I do not know.
Good to see you too, Bill. But I don't know how you turn it down, Bill. But like I said, it's up to him, right? It's all about how important the money is. We saw Tiger Woods turn down $1 billion from the Saudis. We saw Messi turn down. It wasn't obviously as much, but he turned down a large amount. So it happens. Definitely happens.
What Rory McIlroy turned down $200 million.
Yeah, and then he got stabbed by the PGA.
Yeah, that was at 2 birthday. Okay, you're gonna I'm gonna be your shill, and then you're gonna hack me. Okay. Mahomes
literally shielded them for the last year, and then just right, we're done now. We're gonna actually merge.
Yeah. Mahomes' deal is 10 years and still not worth $776 million. That's true, yeah. Bill. And by the way, that's not guaranteed. The Mahomes deal is like $500 million, but it's not like about. I'm not going to lie. I mean, $250, $300 million is guaranteed. That's that's life-changing money. There's no question about it. But the money, the 776 is guaranteed. Now you mentioned something, Amadeus, earlier when we talked about that earlier in the week, that the 776 might, even though it was a 1 year deal, might be kind of an enticement to keep him there.
Well, yeah, because obviously he's going to know that they're gonna pay out the yin yang to keep him there. If they're already offering him $750 million just for the 1 year, because his contract's done. Like, he could go for a year, make his $750 million, and just walk out on him next summer and go wherever he wants, right? So it's interesting, right? It's kind of similar to the Ohtani stuff, right? Like, does he go make his money and then leave with the chance that he knows he's going to have them, really, really trying hard to get him? Or does he just, wipe his hands with it to say, all right, I'm going to play out my year at PSG and just leave?
Right. Well, either way, the result's pretty good. It's not 776, but it's not bad either. So he could do that. And what we're talking about it. He wants to go to Barcelona and play anyway, right?
Yeah, he definitely wants to go to Spain. I don't know if it was Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah, Real Madrid. You're right.
But I know, because in 2024, Real Madrid's getting that Endrick superstar from Palmeiras, who we've talked about, who's 16 right now, but he will, as Foxy's mentioned, he will be 18. He's already signed the contract, just he can't play for Real Madrid until he's 18. So they're going to have a lot of young players joining the team. They already signed Bellingham, obviously, so it's going to be they're slowly turning over the old guard over in Real Madrid. So it's going to be very interesting. I really think Mbappe wants to go in 2024 and join this young super team. It looks like they're building with all these young all-stars.
It's funny because he'll be the old man at 26.
Yeah, he will. he will be the old one, and he'll still not even really be in his prime because
Right.
prime age is 25 to 28.
Great. So you're figuring, you got Mbappe and, these 18, 19, 20-year-old kids behind him, man. That would be you're talking about a dynasty potentially there.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be surprised if Real Madrid tries to go for that Vitor Roque kid from Atletico PR as well. He's better than Endrick in my opinion from what I've seen, but he's also 2 years older, so he actually is 18. But yeah, it definitely.
Oh, the old man on the team. Okay, fine.
Yeah, he's the old man on these South American teams.
He can actually drive. He can actually drive the car and take them to the games.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what his. Not only is he a fantastic player, he's also the designated driver for the team.
Actually, I saw a 14-year-old playing. I forget which game I was watching. It was earlier in the week, but there was a 14-year-old on the pitch.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Yeah, there was some obviously, but
yeah, that's totally amazing. By the way,
20 minutes in.
Yeah, good news from the world of sports is that Bronny James, who had a heart issue earlier in the week, is much better. He's been home, he's been resting, and he is expected to return to USC, where he will start his basketball career in college. And we were unfortunately the other day he had that heart issue, but all's good. He's been pronounced fine, and we're happy to hear that Bronny is in good hands. So that's a good news story for us. We're always for that. Couple of NFL notes. If you're a running back in the National Football League, don't wait for the general managers around the league to call you, because they're not gonna.
Just quit.
Quit.
Don't even run anymore.
No. Saquon Barkley got a deal, but it wasn't what he thought it was going to be. And, they're the one position that scouts always told me that we don't, quote unquote, worry about is running back, because we can always find running backs. And, are you going to find a Saquon Barkley? No, but, three or four running backs that you can get. You keep trading them off, and maybe they together give you what Saquon Barkley does. But no, it's this has been a tough year so far, anyway. Preseason for running backs to sign. It just seems like nobody's going to fork out any cash for them.
Yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for some of these guys who probably deserve the money. Right. Especially considering what's getting thrown around at other guys.
Right.
But, they look at him like a dime a dozen, and it's very unfortunate.
Yeah, you take that $776 million, and you could buy the entire backfield of everybody in the NFL from a running back standpoint, and still have money left over. But yeah, it's been weird. It's been weird training camp news, all kinds of weird training camp news, and we'll catch you up on that later in the week. And
and if I'm a running back, man, I just say don't throw me the ball anymore.
Yeah,
I'm here to run it.
I'm a running back, not a catching back.
Don't throw it to me. If you're not going to pay me the money, I will just drop the ball. I will not catch it.
Well, that wouldn't entice. I know. Steer you to the coaching,
but that's the thing, right? Like it's a war going on. You got running backs having Zoom calls with each other, and it's not a good situation right now. So I'm just saying, if they want to send a message, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of them start just saying, I'm a running back. Don't throw me the ball. I don't catch. It's not my job.
Well, I remember when Brady was Brady always threw to the backs. I mean, that was one of the things he did. And I know that a couple of times he threw the ball to Leonard, the guy that touchdown Leonard Fournette, and Leonard said to Tom after he dropped another ball was that you know, they don't pay me to catch; they pay me to run. He goes, anything I can catch, that's good. So Tom realized that no, Lenny wasn't going to be his back out of the backfield if he had a passing play. And they would actually bring in guys who were fine pass catchers at the time. But that was the deal, right? It's not going to be
it's
running
interesting
back.
that he said that.
Yeah, it's like, hey, don't yell at me for missing the ball. I'm not paid to catch it.
And I'm just saying, right? Like, that's why I said what I said. Like, if Leonard Fournette has it in his mind, don't think I'm the only one thinking it. Okay, these guys will say, I'm not paid to catch the ball. Don't throw it to me. I'll just drop it.
Don't scream at me if I don't catch it.
Okay, I'm here to run it. You only play me the first 2 downs. If you want, if you want to pay me, that's fine. I'll be your back. But if you're not going to pay me, then I'm a first down back. Go find someone else for your 3rd down back.
Here's Foxy's got something for us here.
Foxy with the South American news. There you go. Vitor Roque. See, he's going to Barcelona to play against Endrick.
Looks that way. 500 million pound release clause.
Yeah, so if the Saudis want to go get him, they can just shell that out.
Well, okay. Man, that's a lot of money.
It's a little bit higher than Mbappe's transfer fee there, but
yeah, that's almost Mbappe's fee for. I mean, that's almost what they're paying him. The 776.
That's in pounds too, right? Is that?
I'm saying that says 500 million pounds. It's not $500 million. So that's Let me get out the Wayback Calculator machine here and
check. I don't know the conversion rate, but I know that's a whole lot more in dollars.
Yeah, believe me. Canadian dollars would be like a gazillion.
As Rye Cave says, a good old Canadian shekel.
Let's see. How much? This is what we use our Google machine for. How much is 500 British pounds? Wow. 640 million US dollars as of today.
Wow.
So, like we said, I mean, the transfer fee is almost Mbappe's 776. I mean, it's not that far away.
I see Bill talking about Jaylen Brown's deal there.
Yeah. Yep. He did. Everybody's getting paid there, Billy.
But the running backs.
Yeah. Don't ask the running backs. You're not going to get it.
Everybody's getting paid. Go play soccer, running backs. That's your lesson. That's your lesson.
That's what you need to do. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. We have come to that time when we ask you, Mr. Amadeus, do you have anything you would like to share with the class, or also tell them where to get your stuff?
Yeah, you can get my plays at BigAl.com and PickAdvisor.com. Tonight I have one baseball AL Central game of the month. And we went 3-2 in baseball yesterday, so been on a pretty good run so far in baseball over the last month or so. And then I got 2 plays on the Leagues Cup, and I got 4 plays on Women's World Cup tonight. 1 on each, and then also 1 play on each game, and then the 4th one is a prop on one of those games. So.
Oh, cool! All right, lots to look forward to. Remember, it's all in the show box below. And while you're here, subscribe, hit the bell, and like us, because we're likable human beings. So be sure to like us. All right, guys. Thanks so much, Foxy, Bill, everybody else who showed up today. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. And we'll be back for a big Friday show tomorrow, everybody. So for Amadeus, I'm Jim. Take care.